guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary, middle, and high school age. We are in our 12th year homeschooling this year. Today I am going to be sharing my 2023 goals with you and some of my process. I have been sharing kind of my process for goal setting for the past few weeks recently. I love goal setting. It's so fun for me, and I really feel like I accomplish quite a bit when I do set out to write my goals each year. I will have a link in the description box with the playlist for my previous goals videos for 2023 if you are interested. It will make more sense if you have watched the first 3 videos in this series as I'm going through my goals. But if you already write your own goals and you have a process and you just want to hear what my goals are, that's totally okay as well. So let's get started. Okay, so where we ended in the last video was with my word of the year, which is slow, and also my yes and no list, and then looking at the different focus areas that I have in my life and how my word of the year kind of relates to those focus areas and what it looks like to live out that word in the different focus areas that I have. And once I do that, I start to do a rough draft of my goals. And I talked about this a little bit in the last video. I pull out my notebook. I have my different colors that I typically use for my goal setting in my different focus areas. And I just start to take a lot of the information from my brain dump lists, which are at the beginning of my notebook, just things that I want to do, things that I want to accomplish in the next year. And I start writing them down so that I am more focused on the particular things within my focus areas that I want to work on. It's a lot of focus, guys. So I did that. And then once I have my goal ideas, this is kind of a rough draft. Then I'm looking at my word in relation to these goal ideas. And if there are things that really stand out to me, and just trying to figure out where I want to be at the end of 2023, what is this vision of my word of the year and the things that I want to accomplish, how does that work together to get me to a place that I want to be at the end of 2023? So after I did all of that, I did write out goals. And these goals are, you know, they're definitely personal to me, obviously, and they are worded in a way that works for me. And you'll kind of see, I'll explain as I'm going through what my goals are for 2023, how that relates to my different focus areas, and includes my word of the year. So my first goal for 2023 is to create and implement a clear home management system that allows me time to pursue my passions. And so what that means is that I need to get a good home management system in place so that I'm not always managing my home and homeschool. And that can be challenging, especially when we are in our house most of the time. I mean, we do leave the house, but it's like we fully live in our house because we are homeschooling. I cook the majority of our meals from scratch. We are just here. And so I need to make sure that I am creating and implementing systems that work so that I'm not only working all the time. Allowing me time to pursue my passions would be the things like reading and writing and, you know, working on some business goals, even though that's not really like a recreation thing, that's more of a work thing, but I am passionate about what I do with my work, and just having more family fun time, all of that kind of stuff falls underneath this goal. So I am creating systems for myself, for my kids, for just our home in general, so that I don't only have to work in the margins on my passions. So I have dedicated time where I can do the things that I love to do. So that is my first goal. My next goal is to create and implement a slow money strategy in order to pay off debt and live a life that I love and that my family loves as well. And so what this means is really getting a hold of what our expenses are every month, really making sure that I am being purposeful with the money that we have and I think a lot of it is based on like the variable expenses that we have each month, which variable expenses really unfortunately are pretty much food and gas. And so things like combining trips for errands, not doing errands every single day, which also will kind of bleed into my first goal, which is, implementing systems and strategies so that I have time for things that I love. This one is also, just trying to make sure that I'm using my money well. We don't have a ton of debt, which is great, but we do have some. There are definitely some savings goals that I want to focus on this year. And the way that I'm thinking of slow as my word of the year is kind of based on the slow food movement, which was maybe 2004 to 2010-ish time period. There are so many great books on slow living and slow food, the slow food movement, the 100-foot diet, the, local eating challenges, all of those things. But slow food was originally to savor the food that you have, really spending the time to create food from scratch and just taking a step back and not just trying to get the convenient thing. So I want to kind of let that philosophy surround a lot of my other goals as well. And so slow money is things like when I need something or I think that I need something, perhaps waiting to purchase it to see if I really need it, or to make do with something that we already have, to clean up our food budget and, concentrate on not eating out as much, more planning for meals and really getting a good strategy down for who's going to cook when and what everybody's going to be cooking each day, each week, and bulk buying, that type of stuff. So that's my second goal. The next goal is to continue to pursue my passions by cleaning up rhythms and routines and taking time for what I consider important. And again, that also relates to my first goal. My first goal is more on home management, but this third goal is really to focus on like morning routine and evening routine. What are the things that I really value and want to get done each day, and making sure that I don't lose time with social media or for just randomly watching YouTube videos, or just sitting down and not necessarily not being productive, because I also want to take some time where I'm just enjoying life. Mainly just trying to clean up my rhythms, my time blocks throughout the day, so that I'm being efficient with our time and allowing me as well as my kids to pursue our passions and the things that we really love. So that is the next goal. The next one that I have is create a home where learning is valued and passions are pursued. Again, that is making sure that I am giving my kids the tools that they need, the resources they need to pursue their passions, while also demonstrating that I am living out my own passion projects and sharing with them the things that I'm doing to bring joy to my life and, do the things that I love. When I demonstrate myself taking that time to do those important things to me, it gives my kids permission to do the same thing. And I want them to be able to explore all of their interests. I want them to have the tools that they need to do that, and also just make sure that they know that they don't just have to do math and science and English. They, within those subject areas, there are so many things that we can do to expand on their interests, and I just want to focus on that. Also, making sure that we don't have too much, because sometimes when you have too many resources, it can become overwhelming because you're not sure where to start looking for what you need. It can happen to me as well. I have a lot of books, and I have considered taking some time to remove some of those, especially my own personal library. I did go through all of our homeschool books this past summer, and it was really great experience for me, and I realized that I still want the majority of those books, but I did sort them into all of the different age levels for, Lucy as she's coming up along. I don't need to purchase new resources for school because we have a lot of those things already. But going through my own personal library, I have a lot of books that were really important to me, when Emma and Jack were really little, and before, that maybe aren't as applicable to me now as my kids are older, my youngest being 8. So maybe I can pass some of those on. I could probably have my own little library out at the end of my driveway. That's something I've considered, or else I'll be taking box upon box to Goodwill. So that is the next goal that I have. My next goal is read the Bible chronologically in 2023. I did share all of my Bible resources that I'm planning to use in 2023. I'll leave a link for that video in the description box so that you can see those. I love to read the Bible chronologically. I think that the first time that I read the Bible chronologically, everything made so much more sense when I went through chronologically than when I have just read through the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, or when I have gone through and I will pick and choose different books to read. There's a place for doing that, but chronologically reading the Bible is so helpful in understanding the full story, and I really enjoy it. So I have some resources that I'm planning to use, and that is something that I will have to implement starting in January, obviously, to get through it in 1 year. But I will talk more about that as I move into my first quarter action plans. Okay, the next goal that I have is to grow Townsend House in the slow and against the grain way that I enjoy. I am a true rebel in the fact that I pretty much don't follow any of the the accepted rules for having an online business, and I never have since I started doing this as my job in 2011. It's just not. I struggle to, stay in social media because it's not important to me as much as it is to really just be focused on my home and such. So I do want to be better about managing my time around my business and making sure that I am not constantly using buffer blocks throughout the day, which a buffer block, if you've read the 12-week year, it's just those things that pop up like emails and questions on Facebook, or comments that people have, or, it's important things that I want to spend my time on. But when I am constantly doing that throughout the day, it takes away time from the more important things that are going on in my life. And so I really need to make sure that I'm focused on blocking my time well, and having specific times where I'm working on those things. It doesn't have to be every single time a comment comes in, I go and answer it, or every single time an email pops up on my watch and then I immediately go and answer the email. I need to be better about managing my time well. I think that's a big part of my year ahead, is managing my time better. And I think it's because, when everything shut down in 2020 and even in 2021, things were just so crazy. And then everything opened up and we were all getting back to normal, and we bit off more than we could chew, I think. And because of that, it gets overwhelming for me and for my kids, and just so many things going on all of the time. And it doesn't allow us as much time to slow down and savor life. We don't always have to be going constantly in order to live a life we love. It's okay to slow down. We don't have to do all of the things. And it's something that I talk about a lot, don't try to do all of the things. And so making sure that we are focusing on the most important things is helpful. And I do still want to continue to grow my business. I have a wonderful community that I work with, both my main homeschool network Facebook group, which is like 5,600 homeschoolers in the state of Maine, and then also my email community is, we have like 7,500 members in that group, and I love love, love, love to communicate with everybody. It's so wonderful, but I need to figure out a way that I can manage that a little bit better, because it's a lot of people to communicate with. And so it needs to be in a more centralized location, I think. I've considered maybe starting like a membership community, so it's a little bit easier for me to manage. We'll see. But I do want to continue to grow Townsend House because I enjoy it. I really enjoy encouraging other homeschool moms. I like to share with you all, and I have been sharing for so long. I know I've mentioned in the past, I started blogging in 2001. So I'm an online sharer, but it ebbs and flows as to how I'm sharing and what I'm sharing. But I do want to continue to grow the community and just continue enjoying my time with these wonderful women. The next goal that I have is to create community and support the relationships that we have as a family. And that's kind of a continuation of a goal that I had in 2022, just to reconnect with our friends and making sure that we are seeing needs and trying to meet some of those needs in our friend group, in our community, and just, teaching my kids about service and all of that kind of stuff is really important to me. And then my last goal, which isn't really worded at all, is legacy. And I think that I talked about this when I did my 2022 reflection, that I had put explore legacy down, and I do want to focus on legacy more in 2023. It's something that is really important to me. And when I talk about legacy, I mean, memory keeping, all of the pictures that we have digitally that I haven't printed out. There are thousands of pictures. I mean, at this point, we have some pictures of when Emma and Jack were really little. I have so many digital pictures that I just want to go through and print out and create albums so that I have those. I want to get the stories down from my mom that she remembers from her childhood, and the stories that she remembers from my Nana and her grandmother, and just get all of that information down. I also want to start writing my own stories and writing to my kids more in journals. These are all things that I thought about doing in 2022, but I did not implement. And it was in 2022, I really wanted to explore what legacy meant to me, the things that were important for me to keep track of. And I think that I was able to accomplish that. And so now I want to implement a lot of that stuff. And it is really going to be, how do I fit in these different things? How do I create rhythms to incorporate memory keeping? How do I get my mom to write the stories down or record the stories or whatnot? So that is what those are my goals for 2023. And then the next step that I have is I will go through each one of these goals, and I did color code them. I used the stickers. I have so many sticker books from Cultivate What Matters from previous years. And so what I did was, the first thing I did was I actually did write out my goals on one of these little sheets, just so that as I'm going through my notebook, I have them available. I don't have to flip back and forth. So the next thing that I did was I went through and just color coded at the top of the page whatever the goal was, and I wrote, why is this goal important and what does this look like? And I think that's really important to do as you're setting out your goals. Why is that goal important? So I would write down a few sentences for each goal, and then what does it look like? And that what does it look like is kind of me focusing more on the first quarter, the things that I think that I can implement within each goal or not, based on the amount of time that I have, as I've started to look through my calendar and really evaluating how much time I have, because most of my goals are limited by the amount of time that I have, which is why a lot of my goals focus around rhythms and routines and managing my time well, so that I am making sure that I have the time for what is important. And that's that's my main focus, I guess, is that I just want to have a life that I love and the time to do the things that are important to me. So I went through each goal and I wrote down, why is this important? I wrote down, what does this look like? And then my next step is to really sit down and continue going through my action plans. So I've started out writing some of my action plans for Q1, which is January through March, and I did color code them. So I will write a mini goal down, and then I will write down what that actually looks like. What are the steps that I need to take in order to do those things? Now, I'm not quite at the point, I don't think, to share my Q1 goals with you at the moment, but as soon as I get to the place where I think that I am actually ready to share that, I will. I need to, again, make sure that my mini goals relating to my larger goals for the year are realistic for the quarter. Is it too much? It might be. We will see. But that's going to be my next video, is when I share my Q1 plans with you all. I have started on it. I just want to go through it one more time before I actually share it. Yes, so I hope that this was helpful to you. If you have questions about anything that I talked about, please leave them in the comments, or you can always email me. My contact form is in the description box. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.